Howdy Ags, my name's Evan Berger and I'm a junior agricultural leadership and development major from Katy, Texas. But more importantly, I'm the loudest and the proudest member of the Fightin' Texas Aggie class of 2021. Hey, whoop! So my Aggie story looks pretty different from some and pretty similar to some others. So I was born to two transplanted Texans, a mom who was a Vanderbilt Commodore and a dad who was a Syracuse Orange, whatever that is. And because of that, I was done the incredible disservice of not being introduced to Texas A&M at a very young age. And so thankfully, I had an older brother who just was all about rebelling against everything that could be rebelled against. And so he went out and he learned about this school called Texas A&M University, and he absolutely fell in love with the place. And as I got older, he shared that love with me, and he shared with me everything that he knew about the university, and he just got me interested enough to want to learn more. And so he kind of sparked what became a fiery passion for this university. And so as I got older, I actually found that one of my passions in this world is for the agricultural industry, and that's one of my biggest passions and one of the things that I'm very driven to make better and influence in a positive way, and just something that I always want to be a part of. And so after falling in love with that industry, I got to spend a lot of time with that, working on different agricultural projects when I was in high school. And it just seemed like a really perfect fit to go and study ag in college. And so moving forward, looking at different universities that were the best in the field, obviously Texas A&M was just one of the standout universities in the field of agriculture, in my opinion, by far the best. And the more I really figured out what I wanted to do, I also found that another passion of mine was for leadership. And so whenever I found that my passions lied in agriculture and leadership, I actually got to find that there's a program that does exactly that at Texas A&M, and it's called the Agricultural Leadership and Development major, and it's a program within the Ag Leadership Education and Communications department. And so when I found that, it just felt like an incredibly natural fit. And so luckily, I was blessed to get into Texas A&M as a freshman, and I got to come here and I never looked back. It's been an incredible experience. I've absolutely loved it. And I have absolutely no regrets. I love this university. I love getting to be on campus and be studying what I study. I just love my department. I love all of the faculty and the students in it. And I'm incredibly blessed and incredibly lucky to call myself a Fightin' Texas Aggie. Essentially, to summarize our platform, my platform is going to consist of three major pieces, and those are going to be reunite, renew, and reflect. And all of those are going to center around bringing us back into one big Aggie family and making sure that we can reunite this campus back to that point, and then also that we can renew a lot of programs that might have fallen into disrepair, and then reflect on a lot of initiatives taken by past members of student government and how we can continue to take those great ones and really put them into better practice in the future. It took a lot of prayer and reflection to make the decision to run for student body president. So I actually wasn't one of the ones who, on the very first day that filing opened, was ready to go ahead and make that decision. Unfortunately, life and calendars just don't tend to match up. And for me, even after the past 4 years, this is something that I've thought was for me, but at the same time, it just takes a lot of introspection, a lot of reflection, and a lot of prayer. And after a lot of thought, I realized that I've been on campus for going on 3 years now, and in those 3 years I've served the university in many different capacities, and student government was one place where I really found my niche. I thought that I have had the opportunity to have a lot of really positive impact in this role, and so as I continued on with it, reflecting on it, I've spent 2 years now in the Student Senate, and I kind of found that, I've done everything that I had the passion to improve upon in that body at this point, and I'll continue to fulfill that as I finish out this year's term in Student Senate. And so I've kind of come to realize that You know, I still very much want to make a huge impact on Texas A&M University. I want to have the greatest positive impact on the greatest number of people. I have a very utilitarian outlook in that sense, and because of that, you know, this just felt like what I was called to do and what I need to do. This felt like the role for me because I've always had a passion for the students here at Texas A&M. I've had a passion for the university, and I've always had a servant's heart, and I think that's something that really qualifies me for this. Is at the end of the day, I'm a very reflective and introspective person. I believe that action without reflection can very much be a waste of time, because if you don't reflect on what you do, you can't learn from your mistakes and learn from your successes even. And that's something that I'm constantly doing. I'm constantly working to find ways to better myself so that I can better others. And that's just a huge thing about how I like to live my life. Is I like to be a servant of the people that I lead. I very much identify as a servant leader, and while I don't think there's any one quality that just truly identifies a leader, or one quality that makes you qualified to be the student body president, I think that all of these things kind of wrapped up my passion for the university, my passion for the students, and then my drive to want to serve this place and want to serve these students, and just to be the biggest advocate and biggest representative of my Aggie family. I think that's something that makes me extremely qualified for this role. At first, I think on face it sounded like a really intimidating question to say who, if I could have dinner with any one person, dead or alive. There's a lot of people. There are a ridiculous amount of people out there that I would love to have dinner with, but I think I would probably have to pick Dr. Joe Townsend. So Dr. Joe is a former faculty member at Texas A&M University. He was a part of my department in agricultural leadership and development, professor, and I got the opportunity to meet Dr. Joe a little bit earlier this year. So recently I was accepted into a program called the Dr. Joe Townsend Leadership Fellows, and basically with this program we've gotten to take part in a professional leadership development class, and we've gotten to actually get some really cool hands-on experience with this program. But one of the coolest things that we got to do was we actually went to go see Dr. Joe and his wife, Dr. Chris, and we got to stay with them in their hometown. They live on South Padre Island, and we just got to hang out with them for a week and get to learn from them. And what I came to find is they are some of the most interesting and influential people that I have ever met in my life. And if I could, I would just sit on their couch and listen to them tell stories for weeks. I mean, I wouldn't sleep. I would just listen. I would just be tuned in and focused, because they have so much wisdom to share, and they are just such positive, inviting, and welcoming people, and they were so fun to be around. And I know we call a lot of the things that Dr. Joe says Joeisms, because he just is constantly spouting really incredible insight. And one that we as fellows have taken to heart this year and made our own is that all roads lead to success, even the detours. And that's something that speaks to me a lot, and just about everything that comes out of that man's mouth, whether he's talking about friendships and having good people in your life and telling you that you'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, or talking to you about life and relationships and telling you that you need to go out and find somebody that you like and learn to make them love you, because it's very possible to love someone without liking them, and it's at the same time very possible to like someone who you love and like someone who you don't love. And he just was full of all this incredible knowledge and wisdom, and I have all the respect in the world for Dr. Joe and his wife, Dr. Chris. And so they would probably be my top 2 selections, with Dr. Joe taking a very slim lead ahead.